All right. Welcome to another episode of Conversations with Drivers. I'm your host and driver advocate, Lamar Sullivan. Riding with us today is a driver out of the Chicago market, Issa. How would you say your last name? I don't want to mispronounce.
Mahklouf. Mahklouf.
Mahklouf. Issa Mahklouf. All right. Thank you for joining us. And how are you doing today?
Good. How are you, Lamar?
I'm doing good. Thank you for joining us. Issa is one of our top drivers, another top driver out of our Chicago market, and always has a lot to say in our top driver forum. So I'd want to get his story, his journey of him in the gig community. So let's get going. So first question here, Issa. So did driving with dispatch help you start your own business, or were you already a business owner before dispatch?
So previous to dispatch, I was a business owner, established in 2020, so right before COVID hit, and I was an OTR driver.
Okay. And what was that like for you doing OTR?
Man, it was great. I mean, I got to experience a lot, got to, travel to 50 states, which is always great. Put in some hard work, got some great results, and so that it was great. I mean, I couldn't say it wasn't. Nothing like dispatch, of course, but hey, you got to crawl before you walk.
Yeah. So how'd you find out about dispatch?
Honestly, man, I believe I was just kind of looking for something in more like a local or regional kind of thing. And I'd come across an ad. I'm not sure if it was a Facebook ad or a Google ad, something of that sort. And found dispatch, put in an app, got a response within a few days. And I was like, dude, it's on. Paid my background fee, did all that good stuff. And I think I was on the platform within 10, 15 days.
Nice. Okay, that's good. That's quick. So what made you make this? Were you still doing OTR when you started doing dispatch, or?
So I was still doing OTR. I was doing more of I was trying to stay in the Midwest. My wife was actually having our baby at the time and didn't want to be too far away. You know what I mean? Any minute could have got a phone call saying, "Hey, yeah, you need to be here." And how about if I wasn't? So I was still doing kind of the Midwest region. So it would be like Ohio, Kentucky, Illinois, Indiana, kind of staying a 400 or 500-mile radius.
Okay. And that's a common thing that we hear from drivers of, like, they were doing some OTR stuff or maybe doing stuff going state to state, and they're about to have kids, and so they're looking for stuff to stay more local, and that's a common thing.
Right. Got to, man, because you want to be there for the birth of your child. You don't want to be somewhere and, hey, she's all I've got, right? So if I'm not gonna be there, who is? You know what I mean?
That's good.
Absolutely, man.
So how long have you been driving with dispatch?
I'm going on. It'll be 2 years. Next month. It'll be, I believe, 2 years next month, or maybe even a little longer, man. I'm not too sure, but it feels longer. But I believe it's been 2 years. This October, November.
Okay, time flies when you're having fun,
dude. That's right. Yeah, man. Yes, it does. You're right about that.
So what are some of the challenges of being a delivery driver in your area?
Man, I mean, challenges would be Chicago. We deal with a ton of traffic. We deal with, a lot of congestion, a lot of traffic, especially in the morning hours, afternoon hours. That would be one of our biggest obstacles. Other than that, man, I mean, dealing with the customers is a breeze. Dealing with other drivers in our community, dude, we're tight knit. We run a good circle. Everybody's on deck. Stay communicating with all the guys. So as far as challenges, man, I can't say I run across a lot of challenges, other than the traffic. That's mainly the biggest thing right now. Yeah.
For sure. That's something that y'all are infamous for, is that traffic coming out of the downtown.
You gotta love it. You gotta love it, man. Yep, yep. So
For
as
sure.
far as challenges, man, I mean, that's all I've got no real big obstacles other than that.
Okay, okay. And so talk to me about this tight knit community that you have in Chicago with some of
In
the other
Chicago.
drivers. What's that like?
Man, we are it's almost like a brotherhood.
Mm,
And you know, you come on to the platform, you start introducing yourself, you start communicating. New drivers come along, kind of try to show them the ropes. Hey, tell them don't do this, don't do that. Kind of try to steer them in the right direction so they don't make mistakes. You want to see people succeed. I'm that type of person. I want to see people succeed. I don't want to see anybody fail. So really that our community now that we've got, like, one of the other top drivers, James Parker, it's one of my guys. We talk regularly. It's like, like a good friend to me, like a brother. So we just stay in the loop together at what's going on, what we got going on today, how everything's looking. And as far as even traffic, he might be down there, I might be up here, I'm going down there, he's letting me know, we're staying in the loop. Another good friend of mine, Marcin, great guy. We stay in the loop as well. And every time we see each other, it's just like, dude, we could sit down, have dinner, have lunch, whatever. It's great, man. And like I said, the new drivers that come in, we're almost like the ones that they look up to,
mm,
because they see the rapper and the relationship that we have with customers,
mm,
and the guys at the warehouses that we pick up from. So they kind of, look at us for advice. They kind of ask us questions on, hey, what do I do in this situation? What do I do in this situation? I always tell them, hey, man, just come in, do what you got to do. Make sure you don't overcommit. Make sure you're not making real big mistakes, and you're going to be just fine. You know what I mean? So as far as
mm.
community, man, Chicago, we've got a good community of drivers. I mean, some people stay to themselves, which that's
Yeah.
fine. Another great friend of mine, he goes by Bearski Method, but his real name is Mark, and
Mm,
great dude, man. Unfortunately, he was just in a little situation now, but hopefully we're hoping to have him back soon. And
okay.
and like I said, man, we just stay real close. Uh, we talk regularly on the phone, might call each other. Hey, what you got going on? How's it looking out there today? What's traffic like? And we kind of just stay in the loop.
Okay. So that's good. So two things that I heard here from what you just said is y'all keep each other efficient around the city. So that's
Of course.
good.
Yeah.
That's great for y'all, great for us, where it's great across the board. And then two, y'all are kind of like the driver leads of your market, where you are able to help new drivers, get up to
Mhm.
speed, you know, uh, outside of the materials we provide. You're able to provide a more local, like, here's what you need to be doing, here's what you can expect from this kind of customer, that kind of thing. So that's great.
Absolutely. Absolutely, man. And like I said, I'm completely fine with that. You know what I mean? I want people to succeed. So for you to come ask me and I steer you in the right direction, that means the world to me. And down the line, man, I've had drivers that been around 6 months to a year now. They come back to me and they say, hey, man, I appreciate you. I'm like, for what, man? It's like, well, you told me this, you told me that, and you were so right. And I had some happen down the line, and hey, you told me to watch out for this, be careful, or and they just come back thanking me, and that makes me feel great, man, that I can help somebody. And as I go, I'm learning. You know what I mean? Nobody's perfect, nobody knows everything, but 2 years being in the Chicago market, you kind of get the idea of how things flow, how everything goes. So you can help out people, and why not? I mean, some people might not be that way, but I'm that type of guy, man. I like to kind of help everybody out, try to build an even tighter community than what we
Mhm.
got now. That all you're doing is bringing people more together, building a better bond. We exchange phone numbers, so I always tell them, hey, reach out, man. If you have any questions, anything, can't get if you don't reach out to support, reach out to me. I could try to steer you if it's something bigger than what I could, bigger than my knowledge, then that's for you to
Mhm.
handle with support. But dude, they always reach out like, hey man, got a question about this? Go for it, man. Absolutely. I'm here for you. I'm all ears.
Nice, and that's what James expressed too, is just always being ready to give advice, ready to steer someone in the right direction or that kind of thing. So that's we
Mhm.
appreciate that from the
Oh man.
dispatch perspective.
Dude, if your top drivers aren't going to be the leaders of the, of the community or the platform, the Chicago, who is, right?
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
if your top drivers aren't going to be, then I don't know who would.
yeah, that's a great point. That's a great point. So we got off track of the questions, so let me get back to the questions. so how has dispatch helped you increase your business?
Man, to be honest with you, dispatch has helped me. So as far as business wise, when you're on that road, man, there's not much that you could do other than being behind that wheel 24/7. I mean,
Mhm.
I've had breaks with 2-3 hours to spare within delivery windows. And that's not enough, man. Your brain's not resting, your body's not resting, nothing's resting. So as far as expanding my business and growing the business, me just being home, working, 12, 13 hours locally, going home, having a good dinner, resting my body, my brain, and starting up that next day gives you so much more power and so much more control over your business. You don't even know it, man. I mean,
Mhm.
I didn't even know I was lacking these things until I got home and I'm like, hey, dude, I've been back around home for 3 months, 6 months. Now I've got other things going. I've got other vans going. I've got drivers over the road. I brought my brother along, and he's driving for me now. And that's things that I could do being here at home locally. I can handle other business. Being
Mhm.
on that road, man, I mean, it's just you and the road. So
Mhm.
not much more you could do. It's just you and the road. You can't be on the phone, can't sit down and have time to yourself or even relax time, resting time, things of that nature, man. So it really helped me grow my business and just I would say better my business.
Mhm.
Just being on the dispatch platform and doing what I've got to do here locally, and I can handle other things outside of dispatch, being at home at 6, 7 p.m., handling those things, and then starting back up at 5, 6 a.m. the next day.
Good, good. So you find a lot about value. Sorry, it's a lot of value in being able to be home at night every night.
Oh, absolutely, man. Absolutely. You don't know how crucial it is to be home every night until you're not home every night. Then
Yeah.
you come to realize, like, hey, me being home every night, even just family wise, if you're on the road 24/7, you kind of start building a distance between you and your family. You don't want that. You always want to be tight knit with the family. You always want to be, closer to family rather than further than family. So even just being with the family and having more ideas and just, business ventures and everything like that, it helps tremendously. You don't know until you're in that situation. And then whenever you are local and on dispatch, then
Mhm.
you come to realize, like, man, I'm grateful to be home rather than having to be on the road because I could do this. I can do X, Y, Z. I can, I've got more time for myself. I got more time for my wife, my kids, and mom, father, everybody else.
Mhm.
You come closer together rather than, hey, I'm in Seattle, Washington one day. I'm 2,000 miles away from home. I've got the cell phone, but that's about all I got. You can't
Mhm.
even get close to the family. Can't even have, some days, man, I won't lie to you, man. I mean, I think I missed a couple Thanksgivings.
Mhm.
Just being so far out, you don't want to deadhead back home, even though it's Thanksgiving. You just kind of book your room and just stay where you're at until
Mhm.
you get back into business. So, just being home and being around the family and everything, man, it's unexplainable, man. Until you're in that situation, which this is a kind of a driver spotlight for drivers that are coming on board or already with. So
Yeah.
they kind of relate to this. They
Yeah.
definitely relate to this feeling or this situation that I was in. So
For
yeah,
sure. For
yeah.
sure. And yeah, the family part is really important, having that time with your family and being able to make that space. And that's something that, like I said, a lot of drivers do express with OTRs. Like you just don't get that family time when you're doing that stuff.
Nope. It's you on the road and the load in the truck. That's it, man. That's it. You're just focused on one thing and one thing only. And look, man, money's great, but money's not everything, right?
Yeah.
We always have to remember that. So money's great. Hey, we're all hustlers here. We're all independent contractors. We're all ICs. We're all working for the same thing, right? To provide, protect, do all that, etc. But money's not always everything. It's that time that you get to spend with the family that's worth way more than money, to me. The other guys, hey, might not matter to them so much, but to me, that family time, that means more than anything.
Okay, I'm glad that you got that back, and that we were able to provide that for you.
Absolutely.
And so,
man.
Along with that, so what are some of the things that you like about working with dispatch?
Oh, what do I not like? What do I not
That's
like?
gonna be the next question.
Man, look, like I said, 2 years is plenty of time to see the pros and cons.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, Lamar, I can't see a con. Other than, us just trying to stay busy, I don't see anything that I dislike. Everything that I got going on here, man, it's all things that I've wanted for a long time. And for me to have this opportunity and even find this opportunity, it was just a blessing, man. So as far as pros and cons go, I have not one bad thing to say about working with Dispatch, man. It's been nothing but a pleasure. And I hope to keep going for years and years down the line. This is going to be, it's not just a brotherhood with the drivers, but it's a brotherhood with the Dispatch family. And, I've got great communication with Lamar, Zach, my guy JJ over there. Shout out to him. I've even had conversations with Kelly. Kelly's my girl. She's awesome. Sunny, Nicole, everybody in the, CS team, great people. I feel like it's a big, big family, and I got not one bad thing to say about anybody, even customers-wise. Never had a bad experience with a customer. Never got into it with anybody. Dude, I've not one bad thing to say. So that's out of the question there, Lamar.
All right. I
one bad thing to say about that, man. You know what? I wish I could get you something, but I don't got nothing as far as cons go. What do I love about driving? Everything, man. Everything. Just the freedom of being an IC for dispatch, the flexibility, building, working around my schedule. I've got a doctor's appointment. Great. If I've got to do maintenance on my vehicle, great. Being over the road, sometimes I would be overdoing an oil change, but hey, guess what? I've got this load in the back, and the customer's they're not going for that. They're not, hey, man, I'm overdue 2,000 miles on my oil change, my engine, my blood. They don't care. Hey, but when you're in IC for dispatch, you work around your own schedule. So if I know I've got an oil change on Thursday, well, guess what? Go offline, go get my oil change done, get back online, and I'm here in my vicinity of the Chicago area to where right after my oil change, I can be loaded up and on my way to the next delivery. So that's another great thing about working for dispatch, man. Just being, your own boss is great. Even being on the road, I was my own boss. It's great. But having that freedom and that flexibility, man, if something comes up at home, I've got to handle something. I can turn it off, shoot on home. If I'm 1,000 miles away, Lamar, I can't do that. I can't do that. If I'm 1,000 miles away, I have a family emergency here at home. How long is it going to take me to get here? 16 hours. Yeah, that's one of the biggest things, man. It's just having that freedom, that flexibility of being around home, being there for whatever you got going on, doctor's appointments scheduled, maintenance, even just family emergencies, sick days, whatever. You're here at home, you're local. So that's one of the biggest things that's deterrent factor from being an over-the-road driver to a dispatch driver is that just having that freedom and that flexibility to kind of do what you got to do and get back on and knock it out, start all over again the next week, right?
Yep.
That's it.
Yep. That's great. That's great. So you kind of just talked about this, but I guess I'll still ask the question. Like, what things are most important to you as a gig driver and a business owner?
Yeah, I just basically the same thing I just went over. Just the most important things as a gig driver is, you know, staying busy. That's most important to any gig driver, right? You ask anybody, we want to keep those wheels turning because as long as those wheels are turning, days flying by, dude. 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. comes so quick. So that's one of the biggest things. Another big thing is just being here for any family emergencies, any medical emergencies, any maintenance, anything happens. Something happens to your vehicle, right? You're all the way in Iowa or Washington or whoever. Now you're not at home, so you don't know the local dealerships. You don't have a relationship with this person there. I've got family here that are in the tow business. Guess what? One phone call to my cousin, he's coming to put my van on a flatbed and taking it wherever it's got to go. If I'm
Mhm.
God knows where, can't do that. Can't do that. So that's another big important thing to me as a gig driver, man. It's just being here local and working around my schedule and being able to go where I got to go, do what I got to do when I got to do it. That's one of the biggest factors, man, of being a gig driver in the gig economy.
Okay. All right. And so I don't know if you said this, but in your opinion, how have the orders on the dispatch app compared to other gig apps you've used, if you have used any other ones?
Man, dispatch, nothing beats dispatch, man. Come on now. We know that. Dude, listen, we they have been working hard at making this app more efficient and better than ever. When I started 2 years ago, Lamar, the whole app it looks nothing like it did today, right? We weren't getting those, all that good stuff that we're getting now. It was completely different. You see what you're getting, you take it, whatever. Dispatch has just been working tirelessly, man, just making it better for the drivers and for the customers. You know what I mean? That's most important. We don't want it to just be efficient for us. We want it to be efficient for the customers. And
Mhm.
when I'm talking to customers, when I'm at a pickup and I'm talking to customers and they're saying, "Hey, man, look, it's as easy as 1, 2, 3." So I'm there loading up an order, and hey, can you grab? I've got another one going in that same direction. Are you able? Hey, put it in. Like, dude, I can have it in 2 minutes. I can have it in 30 seconds. Beautiful. They're happy, right? I'm happy. They're happy. We're happy, right? So as far as look, I've only did one other gig app. I'm not
Mhm.
big on, dispatch was kind of the one and done almost.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? When you have dispatch, you really don't need much else. It's great to dibble and dabble with the other ones, but that's not my kind of thing, man. So
Mhm.
as far as other gig apps, the only other one that I've used in the past was Curry.
Mhm.
And dude, Curry is night and day. Not the bash them, not the bash Curry, but dispatch is night and day compared to Curry. I mean, not just the pay, but the way the app works and the way you can kind of map out a route. Curry does not give you the ability to map out a route. You get that one order, another one comes up, they don't care if it's going down the street from each other. And you're not getting that other order. You know what I mean? Dispatch gives you the ability to, hey, you've got an order going that way. Well, guess what? Here's another one. We've got another customer down the street that's got one going down there too. Let's give you both of these, kind of map out your route. That way, hey, you're hitting a double whammy, right? You're doing two orders going the same distance. Great. Curry does not give you the ability to do that.
Mhm.
Smart orders, smart offers. I'm sorry. Smart offer matching is not something that Curry or, speaking to other drivers, Go Share Freight, all that. They don't do that. It's you and your luck on those apps. And you can get on there and claim that delivery in a matter of a couple seconds, then great, you got it. But if you're just even if your internet connection is just a little slower than the next guy, guess what? You're you're not getting that order.
Yep.
So that's one of the biggest things. All right. Yeah. So that's one of the biggest things, man. Is just you being able to map out that route with Curry and all that good stuff. They don't do that, man. They don't give you a route. You have no option but to take what you've got. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So as far as other gig apps, man, like I said, I haven't dabbled with many other ones. Curry was the only one that I've ever worked on. And as far as Dispatch and Curry, it's a night and day difference. Dispatch, nobody's topping that. Like I said, they work tirelessly to make this app one of the better apps, and I want to say they succeeded at it. So,
Okay.
grateful for all the updates that they do. I mean, it seems like every month we're having new updates, or they want to touch bases on what can make it better. Even speaking to the drivers, just trying to see what can make this app better than it is now. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So that's a big thing, man. I mean, you think Curry reaches out and says, "Hey, how can we tell us how we're doing? How can we make it better?" They don't reach out. They don't do any of that. It's they got their own thing going on, and they feel like that's the best way to have it. That's most efficient. Great. Dispatch will reach out and kind of ask. We're having those top driver forums and kind of touch a basis on what can make it better, what would make it smoother for the driver, the customer, and so on and so forth. And that's another thing that makes it one of the better apps, man. Is just them reaching out and like, hey, we're trying to make this the best platform for you. What would you consider making it better? And so you kind of touch base and just say, it's all about the driver and the customer support,
Mhm.
touching bases on those things. So as far as gig apps, man, Dispatch is number one in my book. Like I said, I don't do much of anything else. The Dispatch is kind of my main source of income, and I'm an independent contractor. So hey, it's me and my luck. Whatever I give for the day, I'm happy. I'm satisfied. I can't complain, Lamar.
Good, good. I'm definitely glad to hear that. It's funny you say that about the different the low boards on some of the other apps, because that's how Dispatch used to run. As it was kind of first come first serve type of thing before we moved to smart order matching, and we still have some drivers that clamor for that kind of old way of doing it. But for the most part, drivers like how it is now more. So
Yep,
I'm
I
glad that you feel
remember.
that
I remember how it used to be, and I'm all for how it is now. I mean,
way.
that first come first serve kind of thing where everything's in the network, dude.
Mhm.
Everybody's scrambling for the orders, and it kind of builds. I wouldn't say a resentment, but look, say I see an order on the board, and it disappears like that, and I see the driver that got that order, and I'm like, dang man, I wish I could have got that before he got that, but I didn't. And it's a big problem. You don't
Mhm.
want that. You know what I mean? You don't want that. People scrambling and kind of step on each other's toes to try to get the order. I'd rather it just be a direct offer and go on with the direct offer. Rather than everybody seeing, even people seeing your numbers. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
hey, oh, you got that $100 order. Well, I ended up with a $70 order, and oh man, you beat me to it. And dude, hey, I don't
Yeah.
want to beat anybody to anything. I want, hey, what I got is what I got. What you got is what you got. And let's go on about our day. And we're
Yeah.
all at the end of the day, we're all treated fairly. It's all treated fairly. It's all about your vicinity and how close proximity you are
Mhm.
to the location. So
Mhm.
yeah, man. I mean, as far as the update and how it works now, tremendous difference than how it used to be.
Okay. Love it. Love it. And so when you're looking at orders, looking for orders, what are the most important factors that make an order worth it for you?
Well, our miles per rate, I'm sorry, our rate per mile per se,
Mhm.
is always the same. Well, not always the same. Your ASAP orders are always going to be your best orders.
Yeah.
Your standards and all that other stuff, your expedite, all that stuff comes after. But I want to say that the best ones. would be your ASAPs.
Mhm.
And really, what makes an order better to me would be the weight, because I mean, we get paid for the weight, right?
Mhm.
So the heavier they are, the better they pay, the better they are. So really, that's one of the biggest factors for me, man. It's just the weight, the distance. That's what makes it the best order for me is the weight and distance of the order.
Okay, and that's interesting that you say it like that because I would think like some drivers would kind of think of it in the opposite way of like the heavier it is, they don't want to take that particular order. But
Oh man,
you're
man,
saying,
oh man. I tell you what, man. I mean, I'm young, and I'm healthier than ever. That's another thing of being on that road. You're not able to hit that gym and get that
Mhm.
workout. This is kind of my way of making a living and my way of getting my physical activity in. You know what I mean? So the heavier they are, the better off I am. You know, if I can get out there at 6:30 a.m. and get a big hit from Sunrun and knock that out 30, 40, 50 panels, 50 pounds a piece, that's just the more the merrier.
Mhm.
So to me, it's a physical workout. Keeps me on my toes, keeps me healthy. Loading up on liquids, so you're drinking water all day. You feel great. So the weight to me doesn't deter me. Maybe other drivers, I understand. You know what I mean? Some guys don't want to do back-breaking work. This is very labor-intensive work that we do here. It's not just sitting behind the wheel, uh, driving, like say OTR drivers. We were When I was an OTR driver, it was fork on, fork off,
Mhm.
no touch freight. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And that's ultimately, Lamar. That's what killed me, man. I mean, dude, I put on 75 pounds being on that road. Just drinking Red Bulls, energy drinks, eating, just trying to keep my eyes open on the road. Not being able to hit no gym, get no physical activity. You're literally behind that wheel until you have to fuel up, get snacks, and do it all over again. You know what
Mhm.
I mean?
Yeah.
So now this is a lot more like labor intensive. So for me, I'm much happier doing this than I would the no touch freight. For some guys,
Okay.
no touch freight is great to them. For me, I'm looking for more of the labor intensive. I'm looking for more of the physical. I want to work out, and I want to work out. I want to work hard for my money. I like blood, sweat, and tears per se. You know what
Mhm.
I mean? I put
Mhm.
blood, sweat, and tears into my business, and it's
Mhm.
always going to repay me at the end. I'm always going to get rewarded for that. So that's just kind of how I look at it, man.
Okay. All right. That's interesting. I haven't heard it put that way before, but that's
Yeah.
really interesting. Um, and so, what does being recognized as a top dispatch driver mean to you?
Oh man, it means the world to me, man. It means the world to me, man. When I got that phone call, dude, I mean it was smiles from ear to ear. I
Hmm.
mean, it was great, man. It means a lot. It means a lot. For one, it means more opportunities, right?
Hmm.
So it means that you're finally being recognized for what you are. None of us will. I never had an idea. I never knew that this was even going to be a thing, right? So
Hmm.
what I did was just go out there and put my 100% every day, and it got me to this point, and I'm grateful and I'm thankful for that, for this opportunity to be a top driver, and I'm not going to say I didn't work hard for it. I did. I mean, dude, you're talking no days off. You're
Hmm.
talking no days off. You're talking 10 hours, 12, 14. Some days, if you get something that's not so local, going 100, 200 some miles. I mean, we've got that on the dispatch platform. We've
Yep.
got orders going out of market, 200 miles, 300 miles. So there's nights where I wouldn't get home until 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night. And I started my day about 4:35 a.m. So putting that work in and getting that appreciation and that, you know, and it resulted me to be a top driver, man. It means everything to me, man. I mean, we didn't know this was going to be a thing. None of
Hmm.
us knew that. The top drivers, at least that are top drivers today, we just went out there and did what we had to do,
Hmm.
and it got us up to this point. And I'm glad, man, because I didn't want to have to, per se. I don't want to have to be expecting, you know what I mean? I want it to be earned,
Mm-hmm.
you know, earned
Yep.
rather than me trying to, work hard for it. We didn't know it was going to be a thing. So it's not like I was working towards being a top driver. I was just
Mm-hmm.
going out there and doing what I do every day, and put my 100% in it, and it led me up to this point. And I'm thankful for that, man. I mean, being a top driver means the world to me, and any of the other top drivers that are in my community gives us more opportunities, lets us kind of have more of that peace of mind. Not for say job security so much, but hey, you deserve this. You worked hard towards it, and you are this now. So you just want to be a leader, and you kind of want people to follow in those footsteps and become a top driver as well.
Yeah, and that just go towards your work ethic and your integrity of wanting to do the best work that you can, and that's I'm glad that we were able to reward and kind of recognize you for that work that you were doing, regardless of whether you got to be a top driver or not.
Didn't know this was going to come about, man, and it
Yep.
did, and it was earned, and yeah, and I mean, I'm thankful for that, man, because if per se now the newer drivers, they have something to work towards, right?
Mm-hmm.
They have something to come in every day, put their 100% in, do what they got to do, make sure that they're doing what they got to do to become a top driver. They have something to look forward to or run towards. We didn't have that. We came in starting 2 years ago. There was no top driver anything, or that wasn't even spoke upon, or So
Yep.
when it did come about, it makes us feel good, man. That we worked hard, we put in that work, and things always happen with people that put in that work. Just like a job promotion, right? You
Mm-hmm.
go in there, you show people what you're capable of, your worth ethic, and you just keep on moving up the ladder, right? Obviously, you don't want to go down, because if you're going down, you're doing something wrong.
Yeah.
You just move ahead. If you're
Yeah.
just moving up, now you're doing something right, and you just keep moving the way you've been moving, and it's just gonna get you further in life, man.
That's well said. Well said. And so with some of the webinars that we do, we have the Top Driver Forum that you're in, and then some of the bigger webinars that we do. What's the value that those webinars have kind of had for you?
Education. Education's everything, man. I mean, I want to learn every day.
Mm-hmm.
I've always heard the saying from my father, man. Knowledge is wealth.
Mm-hmm.
And the more you know, the wealthier you are. So every day that I educate myself and learn more about a certain thing, or learn more about how things work, the more knowledge I have, the more I can provide, the more I can do, the better I could be. I could just be a better me, gaining that knowledge. So those big webinars, man, they're great. They're great. If it wasn't for those, starting off, I wouldn't know half of the things that I know.
Mm. Okay, good. I'm glad that you're getting something out of those.
Oh yeah, they help, man. I mean, especially for the new. Every driver isn't a driver that's been on for years or months. Some of these newer drivers, they couple days, couple weeks. So dude, those webinars are your stepping stone. They're almost giving you everything that you need to succeed. And if you just follow in those instructions on how to succeed, you're going to become successful with dispatch. You know what I mean? So
Yep.
if they're giving you those stepping stones, if you're not taking them, then you're just going to go backwards, and ultimately you might be, terminated or suspended or any of those things, and that's not what you want. To be successful, you want the more knowledge, the more higher you get, the more educated you are on how dispatch works, the better you will be on dispatch.
Yeah, and that's exactly right. We want them to, what you just said of, if you follow the things that we're saying, you'll be successful. And that's how we try to structure these webinars, to give you the most recent information that we have, because the information does change.
Right,
Things might happen with the customer to where they want something done differently than what we said before, and so we
right.
might come into a webinar with different instructions than what we said before. And that's not us being disingenuous. That's us, just giving you updated information. Things change, and
Right,
so
right,
yeah,
right. Customers' needs change, dispatch needs change, things of that nature. So, you just kind of, you go with the flow and you just keep getting educated. And the more you know, the better off you'll be. And those webinars, I mean, if it wasn't for those, man, we wouldn't know what the customer wants, right?
mhm,
All these things are all just to inform us on the changes and what how to follow those next steps to just keep on going with dispatch and keep on becoming more successful with dispatch. So you follow
yeah,
those, you're gonna get far. You don't, you might not. Right?
that's exactly right. That's exactly right. And so, why should other people drive with dispatch, in your opinion?
Why should other people drive with dispatch? Well, I've gave them many reasons.
Yep, you have so
I've gave
far.
them many reasons. Just being closer to home, the better. And to some people, they don't got an enormous family, might not have children, you know what I mean, might not have a wife or a girlfriend or anything of that sort. So to them, it really doesn't matter being home or being local. That's one of the bigger things for me. Along with having your freedom, having your flexibility. Also weekends. I mean, I'd say 3 out of 4 weekends I might be working in the Chicago area. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? When I was over the road, I mean, you're either stuck in a whole other city, it's so far away from home, and just having to kind of just stay where you're at until the Monday starts back up, or you're either running a load on the weekend, which gives you no days off. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So at least I know with dispatch, I've got my Sunday off. 3 out of the 4 weeks I work Saturday, or 2 out of the 4 weeks I'll work Saturday. So majority of it is you got your weekends off, right? A lot of
Mhm.
people don't take some jobs because they don't have Saturdays and Sundays off. That's a deal breaker for some people. Wasn't for me being an over the road driver. I'm a hustler, man. It's in my
Mhm.
blood. I want to make money, and to make money, you might have to work 6 to 7 days a week. But that's another big thing on why drivers should drive for dispatch is if you want your weekends off, you can have them. Because even if something comes up for Saturday or Sunday or whatever, or even a holiday, you have the option to take or refuse, accept or
Mhm.
decline, right? We got the green and we got the red.
Yep.
Um, when I was an over the road driver, it was when I started, see, technology just keeps on moving, just like dispatch just keeps on updating
Mhm.
when I was with my carrier, it was forced dispatch. So, you're forced. It's not like you get to pick and choose where you're going. No, if they want you to go to Los Angeles, guess where you're going? You're
Mhm.
going to Los
Yeah.
Angeles.
Yeah.
No ifs, ands, or buts. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So with dispatch, you pick and choose. Hey, I, I'll take this on Saturday, no problem, Or, hey, me and my wife got brunch Saturday morning. Guess what? I'm not gonna take this order, right? I have the right to do that. I get to choose whether or not I want to work. So that's another big reason to work for dispatch, man. And another thing is just the brotherhood that you get in the community of the dispatch drivers. Every morning we're meeting at the Sunrun location. We're having good talks. Everybody's getting together, so it's kind of like you're forming more friends, more brotherhood. So that's another big thing, man. I mean, with the road, it's like I said, it's you and the road. You don't build a good relationship with the shippers and the receivers. You're in there 5-10 minutes and you're out of there. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
another big thing would be building those relationships, and income's great, right? Depending on what market you're in, and
Mhm.
depending on what season you're in. I mean, Chicago's not always great. We
Mhm.
got our ups and downs. So one month could be great, next month not so much. But guess what? You're an independent contractor, and this is what you're here for. This is what you signed up for. So, yeah, man. I mean, dispatch is Dispatch is great, man. I don't know why anybody wouldn't want to work with Dispatch. I have no reason not to. You know,
Yeah.
man. I mean, I could go on. I could go on for days, Lamar. Like I said, another thing is the physical activity, right? You
Mhm.
don't get that physical activity when you're working with another carrier, or another company, whatever. It might be that no touch freight that I was talking to you about before,
Mhm.
and I'm more of a physical person. Before I got in this business, I was active. When I got in the business as an OTR, I was less active. Just sitting behind that wheel. Body started deteriorating, mind started deteriorating. Everything kind of just it started deteriorating. So when
Mhm.
when when I when I got on with dispatch and started getting more active, I felt way better. I felt so much better. It's a lot of people are like, oh my God, I have to unload 2,000 pounds for 40, $50. That's insane. No, man. Hey, get out there, move your joints, get hydrated, you know, stay hydrated, stay active. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
that's a big thing for me is staying active. Uh, so with dispatch, you have no problem staying active, whether it's paint, whether it's solar panels, whether it's mattresses,
Yeah.
whether it's cabinets, whatever it is that you got going on, you are going to be active day in and day out with dispatch. So that's another reason. I mean, like I said, Lamar, I could go on, man. And it's people like you that make dispatch what it is, man. Just make it that much better. You know what I mean? Just communicating like this, that means a lot. With a lot of the other big carriers, you don't get this kind of communication. You don't have those webinars to inform you and teach you. You don't get educated, man. It's just you and the road and what you're capable of and what you got going on, and that's it, really.
Okay, yeah, love that. Yeah, you've given a lot of reasons to drive with dispatch, so we
Oh
love it.
man, dude.
We
I've
love
got
it.
more. I've got more. If I can think back on all the reasons, I would give you more, man. Trust me.
Well, next thing here, if you could give any advice to other drivers at dispatch, which I know you do already, but to the wider dispatch community, um, if you could give any advice, what would you give?
Go in, put your 100%, day in and day out. Just work hard. Be you. Be you. Build good rapport, man. I mean, relationships get you places. I'll be honest with you. In this life that we live, man, the relationships that you build with other people, with customers, that gets you places, man. They start recognizing you. You come in with a smile on your face, never a sour person. You know what I mean? Everybody that sees me, they're like, man, you're always smiling, man. You're always happy. You're always energetic. You know what I mean? You're always just, there and just happy. What is it about you? Man, look, if I was a sad and angry person every day, man, I wouldn't be the person I am today. You, I couldn't make people's, you go in sometimes, man, that some of these customers and, people might be having a bad day. You give them a smile, you give them a pick me up, you know what I mean? You give them a
Mhm.
good chat, good conversation, just talk about anything, man. Whether it's something about the material, whether it's something about the weather, what event we got going on, or anything might pick somebody up, man. So you can be you can be that person that makes somebody else's day better than it is. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? So that's my advice, man, is building relationships. Very important. With drivers and customers, not just with drivers. Drivers are great. At the end of the
Yeah.
day, they're not, they're gonna help you. They're gonna help, and building a relationship with the customer not only, you know, educates you on their needs, because the better relationship you got with the customer, the more educated you are with the customer as well.
Mhm.
You're up to date on all their needs and their expectations
Yeah.
because you got that relationship. They feel comfortable with talking to you. So now hey, do this, don't do that. Hey, we,
Mhm.
we had a driver do this, man. Make sure you keep your heads up. Make sure you watch out. Don't make that same mistake because we love you. We don't want that to happen to you, right? So it's another thing, man. If you want to become successful and with dispatch, man, relationships is everything. on time percentage is everything, right? So make sure you're communicating with support. Make sure you're communicating, letting them know, hey, hit traffic. Hey, I might be 5-10 minutes late. No problem, right? You might have lost me again. Okay.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah. So that's another thing, man. If you want to become successful with dispatch, it's not hard. All you have to do is follow simple instructions, build good relationships, and sky's the limit. You know what I mean? Sky's the
Yeah,
limit. Yep. That's kind of that's what got me here today, right? Is
yeah,
just going in there, giving my 100%, building great relationships with not just the team, but people outside of the dispatch team, which is other drivers, and also building good relationships with customers. Now people recognize you like, hey man, you're that guy that everybody knows, everybody talks to, people open up to, you educate people, you're that leader in your community that everybody looks up to, or kind of wants to kind of pick at your brain to see, hey, what got you in your position. And I tell everybody, man, I tell them exactly what I'm telling you today, right?
mm-hmm. Yep, yep, and that's great advice. That's great advice for all the drivers to hear for sure.
Oh yeah.
So we're getting to the end here. I got one more question. So just anything, is there anything else you want to share with the dispatch community? Anything you want people to know about you and your journey? Just the floor is open. Anything, any last words you want to say?
Man, me and my journey has been crazy, man. I mean, when I first started with dispatch, I didn't know what to expect. You know what I mean? I was
Yeah.
just one of those guys came in, and got straight to work and didn't know what to expect. Didn't know how long I was going to be around, what I was going to be doing, what kind of materials I'm going to be working with. So just go out there, man, and put in the work, blood, sweat, and tears, and just let sky be the limit, man. Because if if honestly, if you don't, you're not going to succeed in anything you do. You know what I mean? So being the person that you are, and it'll get you far. Building those relationships will get you far. And just come in, do what you got to do. Yeah, you're an independent contractor. Whining and complaining doesn't get you anywhere. You know what I mean? But going in there and doing what you got to do every day does. And the numbers show, man. Numbers show, the top
Mm,
drivers show. So complaining, hey, this is a lot. Hey, doesn't get you nowhere, man. Ultimately, the bills got to get paid, mouths got to get fed. So if you're not going to go out there and do that, who is?
hmm. That's well said. That's a great place to end. So thank you, Issa, for joining us today. I appreciate you willing to participate with this and driving with dispatch. I mean, you're a valued member of our team, and yeah, just keep up the great work with what you're doing in Chicago. We appreciate it.
My man, Lamar, I appreciate you for having me, man, giving me the opportunity. Appreciate everybody at the dispatch team, man. Can't thank you guys enough. And I'm looking forward to more meetings and spotlights like this today. Hopefully, many more where these came from, man. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you for the opportunity, man. And I'm looking forward to it.
All right, sounds good. Well, you have a great day. Thank you.
You too. Thank you, Lamar.
All right,
Have a good
bye.
one. Bye bye.